Hello, I am Rags, and I am very glad that you're here. Sorry about the delay on this video. I've been busy. And I've also been pondering some things. I know how I tackle this video is probably going to have to be tempered by some level of the understanding that my opinion is not a popular one. I believe it to be the correct one, of course, as we believe all our opinions to be. But I think this show is crap. I think Kenobi is awful. I think it's one of the worst shows I've seen. And the list of worst shows I've seen does seem to be expanding, particularly when Star Wars or Disney's involved. But as I said, it got me thinking. And I'd like to ask you a question. And it's not a rhetorical question. It's one that I hope that you'll really give some thought to, particularly if you don't agree with my assessment of Kenobi and have yet to be convinced. I do hope you'll give this question an honest ponder here. And the question is, why do you like Star Wars? Think about that for a moment. Why do you like Star Wars? What is it about Star Wars that you like? Why is it something that you enjoy watching? You enjoy just thinking about idly? Why are you a fan of this franchise? Star Wars is 45 years old now as a franchise, as a product, an IP, a universe, call it what you may. And I wonder how long it takes for something to persist and to keep going on, for there to be a sizable chunk of its audience or its fan base to eventually, maybe, forget what it was that made that thing so amazing in the first place. How many eventual relationships sour and fade and become apathetic? How many people fall out of love with one another because they no longer recognize the person that they're with, the person in the photos from their wedding, their honeymoon, their first dates? How many times can a person die before they actually die? I've watched the last episodes of Kenobi. Our reactions and viewings of the show are up on the Mueller channel that we do for Every Frame of Pause, our podcast. It's all out there. You can see our reactions, our post-watch discussions. Kenobi is an awful show. It is embarrassingly bad. And I don't know how many times we could simply point out the inconsistencies, the plot holes, the lack of logic, the character assassinations. I don't know how many times we could point out all of these glaring problems with the show until, I think there's just a big segment of the population that unfortunately just doesn't care. They don't care that Kenobi's been assassinated thoroughly, that his character has been ruined. They don't care that the same's been done to Vader or Bail Organa. They don't care that there have been massive plot holes that are introduced with this show that didn't exist before, that the horrific contrivances are going to create immense issues. They don't care about all of the basic breakdowns and logic every step of the way in this show through every episode. They don't care. There's enough people who just want to see lightsabers, who just want to see stormtroopers falling down, who just want to see Darth Vader, and that's it. That's all they care about. There's just too many people like that. And that's why Star Wars will probably continue to just trudge through the sludge of horrific mediocrity. Not even mediocrity. Mediocrity implies it's so-so. 4, 5 out of 10. When these shows struggle to get above a 3. I know I'm frustrated that it has to be said, but in what other way can you really express to people to try to get them to understand that what they are watching and clapping at does not make sense? None of it works None of this functions. It requires massive breaks in logic and the assassinations of characters, and for complete incompetence of entire factions on both sides, for these kinds of visual payoffs, because that's all it is. These are just visual payoffs. That's what it requires for these things to happen. In order to have Darth Vader pulling down a ship from taking off, that, you know how many people clapped at that? You know how many people clapped and were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the most amazing thing Disney's ever done. You know how many simpletons clapped at that? Because their brain never went, well, wait a second. If Darth Vader can pull ships from taking off, how come he doesn't do it with a Tantive IV and Rogue One? How come he doesn't do it with the Millennium Falcon on Hoth? They don't think about these things. People are just excited to see Obi-Wan going on an adventure, even though it involves him abandoning Luke and his duty to protect Luke, when the Organas, who are in charge of Leia, who have a planet's worth of resources, who are royalty, who have all of this money and influence and power that they can use to get her back, want to instead do something incredibly stupid and contact Obi-Wan Kenobi. Something that he agrees to. How many people clapped at that, even though it just makes no sense on any level whatsoever? How many people giggled like schoolgirls in their chairs as they watched legions of stormtroopers who have no competence whatsoever, who have no ability to hit anything, who are totally worthless? Just the Empire as a faction. How can you clap and cheer and smile and be happy for the heroes when the foe that they have to face is so insanely incompetent? Do you cheer for an MMA fighter when he beats up a baby? I doubt it. People love this show. And that's just standard fare. People love everything until, of course, a month or so goes by and they look back and they say, oh, actually, it wasn't that good. But people seem to love this show, and no one seems to be critical of it. And and that's why I asked the question that I did. Why do you like Star Wars? Do you just want to see red lightsabers and blue lightsabers? Do you just want to see Darth Vader? Do you just want to see stormtroopers and TIE fighters? Do you just want to see the brand? Do you actually care about what made that brand what it is? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. And you think you do, and that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Oh, finally, we got to see Obi-Wan and Vader fighting. Wow. And you'll clap and you'll cheer and you'll feel so happy that Disney brought you this, even though they had to ruin both characters along the way and put them inside of a plot that makes no sense, where nobody does anything logical, where the stakes are so mysterious based off of nothing following logically in terms of cause and effect. All of that is ruined, but that's okay. All of that is okay because we get to see the men with the lightsabers hit them together. And I clapped when I saw it. I clapped when I saw the Star Wars. People will say, because they've said it before, they will continue to say it again, I'm numb to it. I don't mind. I really don't. They will say Rags, Mahler, Fringy, Jay, Metal, Drinker, everyone. They will say, why won't you just let people enjoy things? Well, first off, why won't you just let me hate things? However, allow me to ask you this. If I can take away your enjoyment of something by just describing it accurately, that's on you. That's on you. Because all we're doing with this show when we watch it and we point out all the inconsistencies and we point out all the flaws and we explain why everything the characters do is a contradiction from what has been established that they have, right? When they ruin a character by having them do ridiculously stupid and irresponsible things, or downright evil things in Obi-Wan Kenobi's case, and you, as a result, no longer like something or like it less, that's on you. That's your mind. It's not mine. I'm not making you do anything. That's you. And it's not something to be ashamed of or sad about. I think it's something that you should probably appreciate. Because it will make you appreciate the things that you like that hold up to that scrutiny. You'll really start to value and cherish the things that you like that have good characters, that have good plots, that have good world building. When I sort of started realizing that most stories are just bad, most movies are bad, like all of these Star Wars shows are just crap, when it really started to sink in that this was just the fact of the matter, man, I really started to appreciate and love some of the good stuff. I never got angry at somebody else because they told me, well, in this show, there's this issue, and there's these problems, and there's these problems. I never got mad at them for telling me that. I looked inward, and I asked myself, why did you like it in the first place? Maybe you didn't like it for something that was deep. Maybe it was just a misread. Maybe it was something superficial. Maybe it wasn't anything meaningful about the story itself. It made me reconsider why I like the things that I thought I liked. And it helps me to identify the stories that are solid. When you're able to identify things that are bad and that don't make sense and that are breaks in logic and that are inconsistent, when you can recognize those things, it helps you to recognize as well their opposites, to give you an ability to distinguish the good from the bad. There's a reason why I could go back to Star Wars A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, parts of Return of the Jedi, and go, wow, there's some good stuff here that I never thought was so good, because now I am so keyed into the things that are bad. I have such a black and white differentiation between the two now. And granted, of course, there's a lot of stuff in the middle. But geez, when you're dealing with the typical Disney Star Wars stuff we see now, like this Kenobi show, like even The Mandalorian, like Boba Fett, guys, we have, for the sake of Star Wars, don't you think you should have some better standards than clapping because you saw the thing, because you saw the brand, because you heard the noise, because he said the thing? Don't you think that you should hold to a higher standard the story of what you're watching? Because if you don't, why do you think those stories will ever get better? They'll just keep throwing references at you and remember berries at you until you're full of it and sick of it. Unless, of course, you never get sick of it. Maybe that's all you ever want to see. And of course, I would ask you the question, why do you like Star Wars? Is it just the visuals? Is it just the noises? Is it just when they say the thing? For a time, I considered how I would sort of make this video. I don't script these. I just sort of have a stream of consciousness. And it's put out there into the ether for you to consume at your leisure, if you consume it at all. I mean, shall we go down the list of characters? Obi-Wan Kenobi has been thoroughly ruined by this show. Completely and thoroughly ruined. Everything that he was and everything that he will be is completely incongruent with what we see here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, from the beginning of the show, abandons his great responsibility of watching over and protecting Luke Skywalker from any threats that might come to get him. Threats that we know and he knows, more than anyone else, are out there looking for him. He has to remain vigilant. And what happens? Well, for reasons unknown, is the kindest way that I could say, ambiguously elaborated upon. He can't use the Force. He distances himself from the one weapon he might need to defend Luke. He doesn't thoroughly meditate. He doesn't keep in shape. He doesn't keep with the Force and practice with it. He just hides and hopes that nothing bad happens, I suppose. Extremely irresponsible of him. Extremely irresponsible of him. In a way that I believe already breaks his character. No amount of telling me, oh, he was sad, oh, he was traumatized, oh, he was da-da-da-da. No amount of that will do, because the show does not explain why. A reason is not given. The last time we see him, if anything, He has been told that there is a way to contact Qui-Gon Jinn. He has been told of his mission to protect Luke Skywalker. He has shit to do. And he knows the importance of being able to do this. And yet, when Leia is kidnapped, he is contacted by Bail Organa, and we'll get into him next. He's contacted by Bail, and they say that you have to abandon Luke, and it's your responsibility to watch after her, because to hell with our responsibility to watch after her. They say you have to leave Luke, even though you're probably literally the most wanted man in the entire galaxy. You need to leave your place of hiding, watching over Luke, to go try and track down our daughter, because I'm not going to get into the Bail stuff next. But he does that. He goes and he leaves Luke, which damn near gets him killed by the end of the episode. We'll get into that as well. He goes traipsing around the galaxy, walking around, not covering up his face. He's incredibly irresponsible in the way that he, puts himself into public places. And after being thoroughly stupid for many, many episodes of the show, like when Bail contacts him, and I try to do this chronologically, but again, this is off the top of my head. Remember in episode 3, he took an innocent person as a human meat shield so that the stormtroopers attacking him would hit the meat shield instead of him? That's Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? That's what Obi-Wan Kenobi does, is he takes innocent people as meat shields. That seems to be something that just blatantly happened that we all just didn't really think about, I guess. It reminds me of have you guys seen Aquaman? What a horrific movie. Very entertaining, but it's terrible in terms of its quality. People really seem to forget that Aquaman used an ancient sea monster, and he destroyed an entire faction of people, the Crab Kingdom, right? Who were fighting against Aquaman's enemies. He killed probably thousands of them, the crab people who were fighting on his side, and no one seems to remember that happened. He committed essentially a horrific bloody war crime, killing thousands of people who were fighting on his side, and just nobody talked about it. No one says anything, even though that's clearly something that happened in the movie. No one just talks about it. It's like that, right? How something can be so blatantly a problem, and people just act like it didn't happen. Like the Emperor has no clothes kind of thing. No, because the Emperor has no clothes implies that people recognize it for what it is, and then they lie about it, which I don't think is the case. I think people just have these blockers on. They have this lens, these goggles, these consumer goggles that they wear on. Why does Obi-Wan Kenobi let Vader live in the end? Because let's keep this short, relatively short. Let's just skip to the freaking end. Why does Obi-Wan Kenobi allow Vader to live at the end of this show? Because they have their 2 showdowns, of course, because we can't just have them meeting again on the Death Star in episode 4. Can't do that. No. Even though this is insanely awkward now, and none of this lines up or makes any sense, we have to chuck in 2 Obi-Wan Vader fights, because everyone will love those, even as stupid as they were. Why does he let Vader live? Vader confirms that Anakin's dead. There's no Anakin Skywalker anymore. I'm Darth Vader. I'm evil. You know what I've done? I've been hunting down Jedi. I'm going to kill all these people. You've seen me kill innocent people just a few episodes ago. I'm going to hunt you down. And I was just about to kill the proto-rebellion early on in this episode. I'm evil, evil, evil. And what does Obi-Wan do? He just leaves him there. Obi-Wan doesn't kill him. I want to know why. Why does Obi-Wan not do that? This is the second time he's left with Darth Vader in this state. He knows what happened the last time he spared Darth Vader. All of these people died. Masses of innocent people have been killed. Many of them probably Jedi that Obi-Wan knew. I mean, he knows that the guy who contacted him earlier, the Jedi that he met on Tatooine, he got killed by the Inquisitors. Guess who's in charge of that? Vader. Why does he not? I'm really kind of sticking to this point because I'm trying to make a point. Do you know how incredibly damaging this is to Obi-Wan's character that he lets him live at the end? because the writers know, right, that Darth Vader has to survive and Obi-Wan Kenobi have to survive for the show because we need them for episode 4, which I'm sure, they're trying their damned hardest to ruin with this show. Why does Obi-Wan not kill Vader? Because he doesn't kill Vader, Vader continues to terrorize the galaxy for another decade or so, just as he was doing in the decade prior. And Obi-Wan knows this, and he lets him live. They have successfully turned Obi-Wan into not even just a complete moral coward. Almost like irresponsibly evil. He abandons his responsibility of protecting Luke after he irresponsibly allows his powers to or his connection to the Force to just fade for whatever reason, and he doesn't keep in shape and he doesn't keep in practice. Not sure how Kenobi expects himself to defend Luke against anyone who might come to get him if he can't use the Force anymore, and he doesn't practice with his lightsaber, and he keeps his lightsaber buried in the damn desert. What happens if an Inquisitor or Darth Vader shows up to get Luke? Well, you're going to have to go into the middle of the damn desert to get your lightsaber because you buried it. Good job. What an amazing... It's not just his moral cowardice or his evil acts, like taking the mole guy, I forget his name, the mole guy as his human shield against the stormtroopers. Luckily, stormtroopers have been made so horrifically incompetent, it's not like they were in danger of hitting him anyway. But it's the thought that counts, of course. He's stupid, borderline evil in his irresponsibility now. And why do... Disney can't help themselves. The people they hire to write these shows, they cannot... I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying to get myself off the habit of swearing. But they cannot help themselves to ruin things. They ruin everything that they touch. You know, if you like this show, if you think this is a good show, especially like character-wise, I would love to know how your mind just like processes all that. How does your brain... Because you and I, we watched the same episode. We saw the exact same damn pixels on the frames in the episodes. I do not have access to some information that you do not have. How is it that you can see this and you can clap? They are ruining the shit that you say you love, and you clap for it. How come I'm the one... I hate Star Wars now, basically. Certainly I hate what it's become. How come I care and you don't seem to? Bail Organa. Let's move on to him. Let's move on to Bail Organa before I get more upset. Bail Organa is also ruined by this show. Bail is unable to... His responsibility is to protect Leia. He does this... he doesn't do this, right? Leia's captured by some thugs in the woods because he doesn't keep track of his daughter that he knows wanders off, right? And he knows who this... When she is kidnapped, right? For all intents and purposes, Leia is the Organa's daughter. She is, right? In the same way that Luke is the son of the Owen, of the Lars. Owen Lars and Beru. Your daughter gets kidnapped. Let's say let's play out this hypothetical. Let's play the hypothetical game. It's one of my favorite games. I'm so good at playing it. I have to play it so much when I watch Star Wars now. Hypothetically, you are Bail Organa. You're basically the royalty of this planet. You are extremely rich. You are extremely influential. And you have a seat in the in the galactic government in the Senate. Your daughter has been kidnapped. What do you do? Now, luckily, whoever you are, and playing the hypothetical game with me, you have a huge advantage over Bail Organa, which is that you do not carry on you the weight of retardation that comes along with being in a Disney production, right? You are not in a Disney Star Wars show. So you have a brain. You can think. You could weigh, like causes and effects, basic consequences. You have, realistic levels of emotions for things. Your daughter has been kidnapped. What do you do with your level of influence, power, and money? Do you send a distress signal across the galaxy? Do you offer a millions of credit reward for her safe return? Do you contact the Empire and the Senate and say that, there's been a kidnapping of my daughter and I need to use your resources to find her? Do you hire the best bounty hunters in the galaxy in order to track her down? Do you, do you put posters up at all the street corners and the milk cartons across Alderaan? What do you do? You might think that these are the things that you might do. Using all of your power, prestige, influence as essentially royalty of a planet and your connections within the galactic government in order to find your daughter. You would think that's what you'd do. Because after all, you love your daughter. You love her. She means so much to you. You are her father. And you will stop at no lengths to make sure that she is returned safely. The excuse that he gives in the show is that he doesn't want to make a scene. He doesn't want everyone to know. Motherfucker. I shouldn't swear. You dense idiot. What is more important? The safety of your daughter or the galaxy knowing she was captured? If anything, those will garner you sympathy. I don't even know why would you want to keep this hidden? Someone kidnapped your daughter. You need to... Is it to keep her real identity safe? Why would her real identity be given up as a result? There are reasons to kidnap rich people's daughters that don't have anything to do with her real identity. And besides, her real identity was apparently known or suspected, her connections, so that wouldn't have done anything anyway. And plus, isn't that all worth the risk if it's to get your daughter back when she's been kidnapped from... I mean, the people who kidnapped your daughter, they murdered a guard to get to her, so they clearly mean business and they're dangerous. But what do you do instead of all those things? You go to Obi-Wan Kenobi, literally the most wanted person in the galaxy, one of the most probably well-known faces that everyone will be aware of, a war hero of the, or I guess war villain in this case, of the recently ended galactic Clone Wars, infamous Jedi, the one everybody's looking for, who already, by the way, has a two-part job, which is one, staying hidden so he doesn't get killed, and protecting Luke Skywalker, Leia's daughter, the one that you didn't have the responsibility of watching over. Do you go get him? You go to him. Not only do you contact him, which is already putting you in incredible risk. After all, there might be a chance that the reason your daughter was kidnapped is because, do they know something about her upbringing? Maybe I'm stroking my little doggy chin as I'm doing this. Maybe that's not a risk that I should take contacting Obi-Wan Kenobi and I should use other methods. No, that doesn't occur to your mind because you are written by Disney writers, so you're an idiot. And when Obi-Wan says, no, I'm not going to do it, Obi-Wan rightfully says, why don't you do all these other options? You say, no. You physically get your ass in a spaceship. You travel to Tatooine. You, Bail Organa, the extremely powerful, influential senator/king of Alderaan, you travel in person to Tatooine to go to a specific cave to, in person, face-to-face, talk to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the most wanted person in the galaxy. And you don't think that maybe, what if I'm being followed? What if someone sees me or recognizes me? This is incredibly risky considering that my daughter was just kidnapped and I might be leading the kidnappers right to the other kid? Later on, all of that aside, which already ruins Bail, which already makes him out to be a titanic, irresponsible idiot. All that aside, though, what happens later in this episode, in this show, It's all one episode of disaster. What happens later is that Bail gets a little worried. Episodes have gone by. Leia's not back. And so, what does Bail say? He sends a little cell phone. He calls up Obi-Wan Kenobi on his little communicator. He says, hey, Obi-Wan, I know we said no communications, but I haven't heard from you in a while. And I'm really concerned that you've been captured. And if, because I think that you might be captured, I'm going to send you a message telling you that I'm going to go to Tatooine, and I'm going to go to Owen to be with the boy, and to get him and to protect him. I sure hope things work out okay for the both of you. And then he ends the message. Do you understand how stupid this is? Do I have to elaborate to you listening how stupid this is? Imagine if you were in, I don't know, the French Resistance in World War II. And you Pierre, right? You send a message to Pierre, and you're like, oh Pierre, I am very, because I'm French, this is how they talk. Oh Pierre, I am very concerned that the Nazis that have captured you. I do not know what to do. I have not heard you in some time. I will call you up on the telephone, and I will tell you, oh Pierre, I'm so concerned. I have not heard from you in a while. If you do not come back to the secret base, then I'm going to go there. The one that is on 4th and Main Street in downtown Paris. And I will be there with all of the other partisans. Okay, I hope you are okay, Pierre. I'm going to hang up now. Goodbye. That's like what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And not only does he say this, not only does he say all this stuff, Obi-Wan gets that message, and he doesn't destroy the communicator instantly. He sits there and he listens to this, and he doesn't go, oh, Bail, you're an idiot. I can't believe you would risk sending me this message worrying about my safety. If I've been captured and you send this message, then you're just telling the people who captured me where you are and where Luke is. I'm so tired of seeing this in shows and in movies. A complete and total lack of intelligence. No, this isn't even a lack of intelligence. This is an abundance of stupidity. You could be a neutrally intelligent person. Total, we're talking 90 to 95 to 105 IQ, totally average human being. And you wouldn't do this. It doesn't take a lack of a genius to not do to pull this off. It takes a moron to do this. If I was getting this message from Bail and I was Obi-Wan, I'd be like, holy crap, is he like compromised? Is this a trick? I'd be like that guy from episode 1. It's a trick. Send no reply. That's what my ass would be doing, and I would take that communicator and I would smash it into a billion little pieces. Obi-Wan doesn't do this. Obi-Wan keeps the communicator. He then drops it. Very convenient for the plot. He just happens to give it to someone else, and they drop it, and then Reva finds it. And guess what? That's where she knows to go back to Tatooine, looking for Owen. A place and a name. That leads to Luke Skywalker. Good job, you two idiots. You the dynamic duo of stupid, Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Live and in concert. 6 episodes only. Aunt Beru doesn't survive unscathed. Aunt Beru, when Reva... And we're not even going to get into the whole Reva thing. The whole what a horrific evil villain. I can't believe that people think she's a good character. I think that's what shocks me. There are people who think that she's a good character, that she's written as a good character. She's not full of ridiculous inconsistencies and nonsense. Reva goes to Tatooine, and she's looking around for this Owen so she can get to Luke Skywalker, because for some reason she wants to kill him. I don't know why. She just says for justice. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it's referring to. Apparently the people who think that this is a good written show, they can't even freaking agree with themselves. That's good writing for you. What happens when Owen and Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru learn that there's a Sith Inquisitor who's coming to get them? What do? Well, Owen's got the good idea. He says, we gotta leave. We gotta get the hell out of town. We gotta get out of here. We gotta go. Aunt Beru, she's not doing, She's gonna have her girl boss moment, and she's gonna tell him, no, just because it's a Sith Inquisitor coming here, we've got a couple of guns. Let's just defend the farm ourselves. The two of us, the two water moisture farmers in this dirt hole in the desert. Yeah, we'll take her on. I'm not gonna run away. I'm gonna show her. Miraculously, they are somehow able to not get killed in the process. How stupid do you have to be? If I learned that a Sith Inquisitor was going to come and find me because my son is Luke Skywalker, do you know what I'd do if I had like a day's knowledge? Know-how? I would get in my car and I would drive the hell away. I would leave. I wouldn't stay where they're coming and be like, yes, I'm going to assume for no reason whatsoever that it's only going to be a single Sith Inquisitor. It's not going to be the whole gaggle of Inquisitors and the army that they bring with them. No, I'm just going to assume for no reason whatsoever that it's only going to be one acting as a lone agent. But hey, if the audience knows it, that means the characters know it, right? Because that's what good writing is. Good writing is when characters act on information they couldn't possibly have. That's good writing. Congratulations. It's like one of the basic rules of writing. I'm going to put some chapstick on. Like some chapstick. Burt's Bees. Like me some Burt's Bees. This video is not sponsored by Burt's Bees. Reva. Let's talk about Reva. Reva is a youngling who survived being stabbed through the stomach by Anakin Skywalker. Somehow survived being stabbed through the stomach by a lightsaber by Anakin Skywalker. Okay, whatever, I guess. Then somehow she becomes a Sith Inquisitor. Legitimately have no clue how that happens. I don't know how she got to be an Inquisitor after how'd that happen? You get stabbed as a kid in the Jedi Temple during Order 66. Anakin stabs you and you survive. Count your lucky stars. And then you somehow become a Sith Inquisitor. I have no idea how that happens. And quite frankly, I don't think the writers do either. They just need it for their attempt at a payoff. Even though Darth Vader knows the whole time who you really are, apparently, he lets you do all this stuff. You are angry at Obi-Wan and Vader. You're angry at Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan wasn't... You're angry. You want to kill Vader. So your process for killing Vader is somehow become an Inquisitor and then spend your adult life hunting down and killing Jedi and maiming and killing innocent people, let's be frank. You're a horrible, terrible, awful murderer, and you should be killed and brought to justice, right? You do that for your adult life because you want to become the Grand Inquisitor, because if you're the Grand Inquisitor, you'll have more opportunities to personally kill Darth Vader, even though you've already had opportunities to do that you don't take advantage of. So you try to kill the rebellion and innocent people and Jedi across the galaxy, and you're really, really obsessed with finding Obi-Wan Kenobi because you blame Obi-Wan Kenobi for not being at the Jedi Temple to protect you, even though Obi-Wan Kenobi was busy with Order 66 and not dying. He was like literally the first Jedi to be attacked in Order 66. He was on Utapau ending the Clone Wars. By the way, sister, I guess you never heard about that happening. For whatever reason, you're really upset at Obi-Wan Kenobi specifically for not personally being at the Jedi Temple during the Order 66 attack to defend you when he's out fighting a war on the other side of the galaxy. So you're really mad at him for that, I guess. And when Obi-Wan Kenobi is told this by her, he doesn't just tell her that, bitch, I was on Utapau being blasted by artillery on my lizard after I killed General Grievous and like ended the Clone Wars, essentially. Like, sorry bitch, I was a little fucking busy. Sorry I wasn't at the Jedi Temple. I mean, sorry, what did you want me to do? Characters don't have this conversation. Obi-Wan, this further damages Obi-Wan's character because he should be saying these things, right? It's like the Joel thing in The Last of Us 2 when Ellie's really upset and she says all that stuff about him, and then he's really upset and worried about it, but he doesn't explain his perspective and give the reason for why he did what he did, which would solve up all the issues. He just stands there like a fucking lemon. Why don't characters just say the thing they need to say to clear everything up? How come characters aren't going to defend themselves just with their words? I'll tell you why. It's because the writers want to have a certain thing happen, and so to hell with a character reacting normally to essentially slander or to a lie or to something unreasonable. They're just going to sit there and be silent and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Or they're not going to say anything at all. Because that's what human people do, right? If my best friend came to me and said, "Rags, I cannot believe you broke into my house last night. That's unbelievable. How could you break into my house last night and steal my Xbox and my poster that has all the Beastie Boys signatures on it? How could you possibly do that? I thought we were friends and you let me down and you stabbed me in the back." And then instead of telling him, "Well, no, I wasn't. I didn't rob you. I was literally over at Jim's house, and he can verify all this. I wasn't there. Why would you think that it was me? Why would you think that I would even do that to you? That's crazy." Instead of saying all that, I just stood there quietly and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about what you're going through. I can't believe it. I wish I could have been there for you." No, that's not how people react to that sort of thing. And it frustrates me that characters have to be cut down. Characters have to be ruined and damaged because the writers just want a very specific kind of conversation to happen. And that conversation that these writers want to happen and they jam into the story means, unfortunately, Obi-Wan can't tell her that he was on Utapau, killing General Grievous and ending the Clone War, and then he got blasted by artillery when he was on his lizard by the clones because of Order 66. That he wasn't running for his life. For whatever reason, Reva waits until Darth Vader is not distracted and she tries to kill him. Of course, that doesn't go very well. Darth Vader stabs her a second time through the stomach, and it doesn't kill her. As Darth Vader walks away with someone else who was also stabbed through the stomach with a lightsaber, and it didn't kill him. Holy fuck. When I thought getting stabbed... Sorry, Qui-Gon, you pussy. Don't you know that being stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber isn't fatal at all? No one dies from that. Why would you even... Just dying from being stabbed. Pussy shit, Qui-Gon. Reva goes to Tatooine because she wants to find Luke and kill him because... I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why she would do that. She says, "Justice." But I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Or what you think it means. Whatever. She tracks down Luke. She doesn't kill Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen for some reason. Oh yeah, I remember. It's because the writers know they have to survive for the movie. For the Star Wars movie, they have to be alive. So that they can die in that movie, they can't die here yet. So she just doesn't kill them. She goes and finds Luke, and, "Oh, Luke, he reminds me of me when I was a youngling. I can't kill him." To hell with all the Jedi that she'd killed up to that point. All the Jedi that would have been, escaped younglings, or fellow Jedi that she knew in the temple, that she's now taking part in hunting down and killing. To hell with them. She doesn't get a dramatic flashback for those guys, but thank goodness she gets one for Luke, or else we wouldn't have had an original Star Wars trilogy. What a mess. What an absolute mess of a character. What a joke. What a confusing mess. There is no redemption for Reva. Her redemption is that she doesn't randomly murder somebody that she had no reason to murder in the first place, this innocent kid. What are you trying to do? What's happening? Why are people clapping for this? I'm done. My throat's had enough. I've become too upset, and I'm just going to keep yelling. And I've accepted that Star Wars is just dead. Star Wars is just dead. We're not going to get good Star Wars stuff anymore because people clap for shows like Kenobi because they saw the lightsabers, because they saw the stormtroopers, and the stormtroopers got shot and they fell down, and then the red lightsaber they hit each other, and then Darth Vader said that I am the master now, and Obi-Wan said hello there, and I saw the blasters, and then they clapped for it. And that's, I guess, I don't know. I guess I don't care about Star Wars any more or less than all kinds of other things. I guess I can just look at the show and notice how it ruins characters and contradicts events. There's no way that episode 4 can happen after the events of this TV show happen. Just so we're clear. There's no way. Because the Empire knows about Bail Organa. They know about Leia. They know about Kenobi. There's no way that... How is it that when Leia sees Ben die in episode 4, she just doesn't have any reaction? When, if anything, she should have more of a reaction than Luke does. How come when she puts the message onto R2 at the beginning of A New Hope, how come she addresses Ben Kenobi as General Ben Kenobi? I knew you because you fought with my father in the Clone Wars. Instead of, Ben, the person who rescued me from kidnapping and saved me from the Empire and fought Darth Vader and did all that stuff. It's not... Little did we know that the whole time, Luke Skywalker, the farm boy growing up on Tatooine, literally saw a crazy lady with a lightsaber chasing him. And so when Obi-Wan gave him a lightsaber, I guess he just blocked those memories out of his mind. It doesn't work. You are creating problems where none existed. I mean, there were some problems between the prequel and the OT. There were some. But for the most part, it fit. For the most part, it fit together enough. And now it's all shattered. It's all a joke. It's all an absolute joke now. Nothing fits. Nothing fits. You saw a gap in the timeline, and you couldn't help yourself. You had to make a show, and you said, damn the consequences, damn the story, damn the continuity, and damn the characters. We've got money to make. We've got seals to make clap. We got to get those subscribers for Disney Plus. So damn Star Wars. We don't care. And you don't either. You don't. You think you do. You think you care. But you don't. You don't really care. Because if you cared about the story and you cared about the characters, you'd be as pissed off as I am. You'd be as upset as I am. But you're not. You clap and you make your little clips. Wow, this was so amazing. Oh, wow. Could you see how Darth Vader pulled down that starship? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. Kenobi and Darth Vader are fighting with their lightsabers. And you'll shed a tear, and you'll cry because you saw Qui-Gon, and you'll think you care. But you don't. But you think you do, and that's the problem. Clap for the brand. So yeah, Kenobi sucked. I'll see you guys later. Ciao. Thanks for listening. Toodaloo.